Greetings and good morning, good afternoon, and sweet dreams. Good night to all ages of the children who love stories and take delight. Welcome to Tarland, T-Star 13. I am ready to read you a story. We're going to start with Cinderella. And look, I wrote a special little note to my grandkids. Yeah, look at that. One day, when you come and find all my stash, you're gonna probably take my books. But look, there is Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Cinderella. She lived with her stepmother. The stepmother had 2 daughters, and she did not like Cinderella, and she made her work very hard every day. She never even got out to play. Cinderella had 2 step-sisters. Their names were Drizella and Anastasia. The step-sisters never had to work. They just pranced around the house in their fancy dresses. Doody-doody-doo, boopy-boopy-boop. And they always made fun of Cinderella because her dress was so plain. And one day a letter came to the house. Drizella! Anastasia! Cried the stepmother. Listen to this. She read the letter. It said, the king is giving a ball tonight. His son, the prince, will choose a wife. Every girl in the kingdom must be there. Then I can go too, said Cinderella. You? Cried the stepsisters, and they laughed and laughed. But it says every girl in the kingdom must be there. The stepmother smiled and said, oh, of course you may go, Cinderella. You may go if you do your work first, and if you have a dress to wear. Oh, thank you, said Cinderella, and she ran up to her room. Some mice lived in Cinderella's room. They were Cinderella's friends. She even had a little one called Guess, and she made little clothes for them. And she said, guess what? I'm going to a ball at the palace. Hooray! Cried the mice. Then she showed them an old dress from the cupboard. It just needs a little bit of mending, she says, and maybe a sash and some beads to make it pretty. Oh, yes, Cinderella, said the mice, because they're so nice. Cinderella! Cried the stepmother. Cinderella went down the stairs. I want you to clean the floor and wash the windows and dust the drapes, said the stepmother. But I did that yesterday, she said. Do it again, said the stepmother. Cinderella worked as fast as she could, but there was always one more thing to do. Cinderella, 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 Cinderella. Oh, dear. I will never have time to mend my dress. They make Cinderella work and work and work, said a fat mouse named Gus. She will have no time to fix her dress, said a skinny mouse named Jack. We can do it, cried the mice. We can fix Cinderella's dress. Gus and Jack sneaked into a big room. The stepsisters were dressing for the ball. I hate this old sash, said Drizella, and she threw it down. I never want to see these beads again, said Anastasia, and she dropped them on the floor. Jack grabbed the sash. Gus picked up the beads. They took them to Cinderella's room. Look, we found these, said Gus as he gushed. Now we can make Cinderella's dress really pretty. They measured, they cut, they folded, they sewed. They worked and worked as fast as they could. The hours went by so quickly as time flies by. We all know what that's like. If we're having any fun. But now, Cinderella had to help the stepsisters with their dresses. When she was done, the stepmother said, "It is time to go to the ball, girls. Are you ready, Cinderella?" "No," said Cinderella sadly. "I did not have any time to fix my dress." "Too bad," said the stepsisters. "You must learn to work faster," said the stepmother. They watched Cinderella go to her room. When Cinderella opened the door, she saw something. Oh my God. Her dress was ready. "Surprise!" cried the mice. "It is the prettiest dress I've ever seen," said Cinderella as she put it on. Cinderella ran down the stairs. "Wait!" she called. "I can go now. I have a dress." The stepmother and the stepsisters could not believe. "Their eyes! My sash!" cried Drizella. "My beads!" cried Anastasia. They ripped off the sash and pulled off the beads. Cinderella's dress was ruined. The beasts, the bullies, the thieves. "Come along, girls," said the stepmother. "The prince is waiting for you." And off with their heads. Oh, wrong book. Squirrel. And off they went to the palace. Cinderella. Yeah, left behind. One more time. Don't worry, it's okay. Cinderella ran into the garden. The mice ran after her. Oh, how I did wish to go to the ball. But it is no use. Wishes never come true. "Never, my dear," said a voice. She looked up. There was a little woman with a wand. "I am your fairy Granny," she said. "I am here to give you your wish." Because I'm Granny. I'm a dish. "Now let me see," said the fairy Tarly. "I need a pumpkin and a horse and a dog. What luck!" "Look, there they are right there." Oh, yes. "I will need some mice. Oh, when they heard that, the mice, they began to run, but the fairy godmother stopped them with her wand. Ha ha! Chick, chick. Now, for the magic words. She said, bippity boppity boop. Reminds me of my mother. She waved her wand. The pumpkin turned into a coach. The horse turned into a coachman. The dog turned into a footman. And the mice turned into white horses. Oh, reminds me of a song. Now hop in, my dear, said the fairy granny mommy. But my dress, said Cinderella. Oh my, cried Granny Dairy. I almost forgot, but no, of course I did not complete. Of course, I am. Waving my wand again, and Cinderella looked down. Her dress turned into a white gown. Her shoes turned into glass slippers. Oh, thank you, cried Cinderella. Now hop into the coach, said the fairy mommy mistress. But remember all the magic hands when the cloud strikes 12. Oh, I won't forget, cried Cinderella. And off she went to the palace. At the ball, the king was complaining. The prince has met all the girls in the kingdom, he said, and he has not found one he likes. Oh, give him time, said the Grand Duke. He has had enough time, cried the King of Kong. Well, kind of rhymes with bong. Just let Cinderella came into the ballroom. When the prince saw her, he bowed. May I have this dance? He asked. Oh, why yes. She tried to say, so shy. All night the prince danced, only with her, the Cinderella of the law. They danced around the floor as if all is in a dream. Everyone said, oh, how lovely, how lovely, how lovely. Who can she, who is that she can be? The hours went by quickly. Suddenly the clock began to strike midnight. Cinderella ran down the palace steps and she ran and lost her glass slipper. Oh shit. Oops, I mean poo. That's a different story too. Squirrel. When the prince reached the steps, Cinderella was gone. He picked up the tiny glass slipper. The girl who wore this slipper is the girl I want to marry, said the prince. He told the Grand Duke, find her. Oh, find her. Hire me a private detective, like my son. Even before the Cinderella was home, the magic ended. The coach turned back into a pumpkin. The coachman turned back into a horse. The footman turned back into a dog. Woof. And there were Cinderella and the mice, just as before. The next day, the Grand Duke took the glass slipper to every house in the kingdom. At last, he came to the house where Cinderella lived. He didn't know She was up in her room. And that crazy. Anyways, let's turn the page before I ad-lib too much. Drizella tried on the slipper. It was too long. And Anastasia. And it was too wide. Are there any other girls in this house? Asked the Grand Duke. No, said the stepmother. Just then, Cinderella, imagine this. Do it yourself. Came down the stairs. Who is this? Asked the Grand Duke. Oh, she is only the handmaid, said the stepmother. I don't care, said the Grand Duke. She too must try the slipper. Okay, well, I'm sure you know what happens next, but I think this is best. Then Cinderella reached in her pocket. Imagine, oh my gosh, if you could, if you can, if you must, try. And pulled out the other glass slipper. The Grand Duke bowed to Cinderella. Look at the girls. Bitches. They cowed. You are the girl the prince says he must marry, said the Grand Duke. So, I love this part. So Cinderella went to the palace and married the prince. And they lived happily ever after. With beads and casts and measures and scissors and threads and beads and palms, and we make and sew and create. And I love you as we do. Charlie and Granny Bear. Kisses galore. Catch it and put it on your forehead. The end.